What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. My name is Teagues, aka the guy who wears a shirt of himself. Today we're putting together 3 of the best builds with Traveler's Chosen for PvE. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty excited to put this video together after trying out Traveler's Chosen in PvP in last week's video. So the video will be up in the right hand corner, so you can check that one out. Anyway, the goal of this one was to put builds together that offered infinite grenade, melee, or both. And I succeeded. So I have a build for each subclass on Warlock, and maybe even a bonus build at the end of the video to take advantage of the best mod that this season has offered for DPS, Oppressive Darkness. So stay tuned to the end of that video to see the build. On each of these builds, I averaged under 5 seconds for grenade regen when everything aligned with below tier 4 discipline. Now these are my builds, but obviously you don't have to follow them completely. You can swap out weapons, armor mods, exotics, perks, whatever. And you know, if you have a better combination with Traveler's Chosen, drop that in the comments down below. Let me know what you've put together. So without risking you clicking off this video by waiting any longer for this intro to finish, let's get started with our first build on Arc. So for the build on Arc, starting with our subclass, we're running Middle Tree Storm, taking advantage of Chaos Reach as our super, Ball Lightning as our melee, Pulse Wave, and the biggest reason we are running Middle Tree, Ionic Trace. Ionic Trace reads, defeating enemies has a chance to create Ionic Traces. Collecting Ionic Traces grants ability energy. And for our weapons, we're going to be running the same thing on all of our builds: Traveler's Chosen, Truth Teller, and Falling Guillotine. For our exotic piece of armor, we are running Crown of Tempest. I know, you're shocked. Haha, shocked, electricity joke. For its exotic perk, Conduction Tines, which reads, arc ability kills increase the recharge rate of your arc abilities and extend the duration of a super, we aren't running, so Lamau. For mods on the rest of my armor, I'm running Impact Induction and Lucent Blade on my arms, Grenade Launcher Reserves and Taking Charge to set up charge with light on my chest, Enhanced Sword Scavenger and Light Arms Dexterity on my boots, and Absolution, which further reduces cooldowns and Dire Artillery for super energy with my Grenade Launcher as my mods on my class item. And with this build, I was seeing an average of around 5 to 12 seconds of time between grenades if you're really playing to get the most out of conduction time. For instance, I would use my melee first before throwing my storm nade to proc conduction times ×1, and hopefully my grenade would kick it up to ×2 or ×3, which I would follow with my super if I had it and if the situation called for it, or kill adds to get gathering light higher, which also has the chance of creating Ionic Traces, further aiding in grenade regen. For me, getting my grenade back that fast with only tier 3 discipline is kind of wild. I also noticed that I got my super a lot more than I was expecting, which helped a lot with proccing conduction times. Anyway, up next is Solar. For Solar, we're running Top Tree Dawnblade to take advantage of Celestial Fire. Be super important in this build. Wing Sun, Icarus Dash, and Heat Rises. Star of this subclass in this build is definitely Celestial Fire because of the exotic I paired with it, Sunbracers. With Sunbracers' exotic perk, Helium Spirals, Solar Grenades burn longer, Solar melee kills grant unlimited solar grenade energy for about 5 seconds. This paired with mostly the same mods on Arc made this build a ton of fun. How to get the most out of this build is landing that first melee kill, proccing Sunbracers' exotic perk, and just throwing, absolutely throwing as many grenades as you can. You may even hear me spamming my grenade key in the background of these gameplay videos, but minding your timer to stop throwing when you see it around the 1 to 0 second mark, so you still have that grenade available once that perk wears off. Traveler's Chosen then comes into effect. Use Gathering Light to refill your melee, and you start the whole process over again. This leads to you pretty much always having a grenade available, and then having Sunbracers pop every 10 seconds or so. I actually lost count of how many grenades I threw recording this video. While it was active, I was literally just spamming my grenade button, and you know, I feel bad for my Q key because yeah, it definitely got some abuse on this one. Anyway, this build was super fun, and being able to say that you have unlimited grenades for 5 seconds is just absolutely crazy and super effective for DPS and for managing ad control. That said, up next is my favorite build of the bunch, and that is due to the craziest mod to hit the artifact this season, Oppressive Darkness. Yep, it's a spoopy dark Void. So for Void, we ran Bottom Tree Voidwalker, taking advantage of the best perk, in my opinion, of any subclass, Devour, as well as Feed the Void, Vortex, and what makes this build insane, Insatiable. For our exotic armor piece, we chose Nezarec Sin for its armor perk, Abyssal Extractors, where void damage kills increase ability energy recharge rate. And for the rest of this armor and its mods, we're running pretty much the same thing on both of the other subclass builds, but with the exception of Oppressive Darkness on the Bond. And I have to say, This build was absolutely insane and definitely my favorite out of the 3 that we're featuring today. I'd have a grenade literally every 3 to 5 seconds when everything was used properly. With that being said, how do you use this build? Get the most out of it, everything hinges on Devour. Rocking Devour by consuming your grenade, then sweeping through ads with Traveler's Chosen and Truth Teller took no time at all to generate another grenade that can be used for damaging ads or a boss if you're fighting one. Melee kills further lowered that grenade recharge time, and having the Gathering Light perk to fall back on if you missed the cooldown or need a grenade refill meant that you always had a grenade when you needed one. This combined with Devour regenning your health and Oppressive Darkness adding a debuff to enemies made you into a literal juggernaut. I could kill pretty much anything and had full health the entire time. And this was definitely my favorite build. Until BraveX Hero joined my chat and gave his recommendation. That being said, here is his bonus build. So for Brave's bonus build, we switched our Void subclass to Top Tree Void. Top Tree features Entropic Pull, Chaos Accelerant, which will come into play a lot in this build, Cataclysm, and Bloom, which further added to our lethality. For our exotic of choice on this build, we pulled out everyone's favorite exotic from when Handheld Supernova was perfectly balanced, Controverse Hold, featuring the exotic perk Chaotic Exchanger, which adds damage resistance while charging your Void Grenade, and charged Void Grenades return a random amount of grenade energy on a hit. Yeah, Brave, I gotta give it to you. This one was absolutely broken when paired with Traveler's Chosen and Oppressive Darkness. I got my grenade back pretty much almost instantly when throwing into a group of thralls or throwing into a spawner. In addition to this, Oppressive Darkness adding that debuff made this build insanely lethal. Bloom would also pop and add a damage chain to other ads, further adding to the grenade recharge. The best way to get the most out of this one is look for a huge group of ads, aim the grenade in the middle of them or directly in the path they're heading. From there, keep clearing with that Traveler's Chosen to have Gathering Light to fall back on if necessary. And from there, you're just going to be running around absolutely sweeping through everything. If your teammates are getting mad at you that they're not getting kills, sorry but not sorry. I gotta say, thank you Brave for this recommendation. For those of you that don't know Brave, he's an insanely gifted and skilled content creator that focuses on mastering specific weapons and skills for use in the Crucible. I can definitely say that his videos have helped me out a ton, and a link to his channel will be down in the description. So there you are. Those are 4 builds to get the absolute most out of Traveler's Chosen while using it in PvE. And I have to say, this one was a lot of fun to make, but I've got some really good stuff coming out. I've got some really good stuff for production if you're looking to get into streaming or if you're looking to optimize your streaming, so stay tuned for that. And if you want to be notified when those videos come out, hit that subscribe button, click that little bell next to it, that way you get a notification when I upload those videos. If you guys enjoyed this one, hit the like, leave a comment down below with your build that you're running with Traveler's Chosen. And until next time, my friends, my family, I have been Teagues, you have been beautiful. Peace.